Alright, what is up guys? This is PVM Vertigo and welcome back to Kerbal Colonization, and you join me here in the nuclear drive stage / lander. And well, I was hyped to go to Moho today. But you see, when you want to go to a different planet, sometimes, you know, you're not exactly lined up with it and you can't exactly get there. So we actually have to go back to the ground and make something that can warp a little bit faster than this, because we're in low Earth or low Kerbal orbit. We don't warp that fast. We cannot warp to, you know, the Moho's targeted home and transfer range. So that means that we're gonna have to kind of go back to Space Center and devise a plan for this. So my solution was slap a few solar panels onto a nice little rover, put it on the runway, rove it out into the middle of nowhere, and then use the protractor on that, because what you're really comparing is not your spacecraft. It's Kerbal to Moho. That's the degree angle you want to perfect. So even if it's on the ground, it will still affect our nuclear drive stage in space. So yeah, you might see we kind of do not have any wheels attached to this thing. We have struts attached to rotatrons, and it's a very elegant solution, mind you. I'm assuming, right? Look at that, beautiful. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of rove this out in the middle of nowhere. So basically, I have two sets of Infernal Robotics motors. I have two rotatrons on one side and two on the other side. I can control either side. Look at that, I'm showing off my capabilities there. Look at that, beautiful. And one side I can tell it to go either clockwise or counterclockwise. So that's how I'm able to move it around. Very basic system here. It'd be much nicer to have, you know, actual wheels and stuff. Obviously, it'd be nicer to do that, but we don't have the technology. The technology is just not there yet. So yeah, time to warp, a long time. Oh, that is not good at all. That is actually kind of a problem. Basically, our space station got depleted just now. Here we are in space, in a gigantic tin can, full of food, by the way. And we are targeting that there Clampatron docking port, and we're going to try to dock this unwieldy spacecraft here. And keep in mind that I'm trying to use the RCS here, but this spacecraft does not like to cooperate, like, at all. I launched it up here on a standard 2.5 meter rocket, just two-stager. Very simple. I did not want to show the launch because launches typically take 5 minutes to show all of the maneuvers and stuff. And I want to actually get going to Moho this episode, so I just wanted to make this resupply mission a little bit sparse. I just want to show you, like, the docking and stuff, and then we'll be on our way. So yeah, basically the idea here, we dock, and then we're done. Alright, so skipping over that little bit of a docking maneuver there, because that was not beautiful at all. We kind of drifted over the other side of the spacecraft, kind of drifted over it. I really need to make a spacecraft that actually is good at docking. Maybe I could make like a tug or something. If I had a tug, that would probably make it easier to actually like drag the thing over there and dock it. I might actually bring a tug up here with like a claw or something, so I can just kind of push it into the docking port instead. Because sending modules up here without like RCS and stuff would be a whole lot easier than sending it up here with RCS. But nevertheless, this station is now full of food. We can go to the Moho transfer now. Alright, so out of sheer stupidity, when I got back to the space center after doing all that, I deleted the protractron, this thing. I don't know if you guys knew that was what it was called, but basically instead of taking control of it, I accidentally deleted it. So yeah, we have to go put this out there again. I'm gonna spare you the drive, but still, I just need you guys to know what exactly happens when you let PVM Vertigo pilot to your space program. Alright, so here we are underneath the sun. There's only a little bit of day left, but that's okay, because these solar panels, okay, I guess that just happened. Apparently there's another spacecraft that has food, water, and oxygen running out. That is definitely not the space station, mostly because it's not named, you know, the space station, but also because, remember our space station that doesn't actually run out of water and oxygen anymore, only food. So we have to track down where exactly this is located. Let's go to the tracking center. Look at that beautiful mess of a satellite network. We really need to fix that. I keep on procrastinating. But honestly, our missions that we need right now, you know, they don't really need that much of any remote tech capabilities. But yeah, it turns out it was actually splashed down in the ocean. We found it. That's all we had to do. Alright, so now taking control of the nuclear drive stage that will drive us to Moho. And we actually have the maneuver set, and the burns will start in just a little bit. And This thing is actually, these tri-nuclear engines are actually pretty powerful, honestly. I thought it was going to take us like 5 minutes to maybe burn there, but no, it's only going to take around, well actually it's going to take, still a long time, but whatever. We can still do this, don't worry. Let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, we've only gotten like an eighth of the entire burn done. But we do have physical acceleration. Thank you, squad, for including that, because this would have been 4 times as long of a burn without it. But even with the acceleration, or the warp, I mean, basically this is still taking a very long time. Nuclear drives are not exactly the most powerful. They do have a lot of delta V. Do we have enough to actually get to Moho? I don't know. But hopefully we can actually get there and somehow get the science back home. That's all we're going for today. And, yeah, this has taken upwards of like 1,900 meters per second delta V, almost 2,000 meters per second delta V to actually get to Moho. And I'm starting to have second thoughts. Are we going to be able to get back? Math says no, because honestly, getting back should take the same amount of delta V as getting there. So, we might not be able to go for a landing today. That's not exactly the greatest feat if we don't make a landing. We might just have to do a flyby, but I mean, there's like one of the reasons why you might want to have remote tech stuff set up, because we could actually send the science back even if we didn't come back home. But putting a satellite in orbit is just as hard as actually landing there, so I would rule that out for now. Oh, this thing does look pretty baller. You gotta say that. This burn is taking a long time, but this thing looks great while doing it. And we're actually starting to overheat here, but I don't think it's a problem. Our radiators are doing a good job of radiating that heat away. So yeah, we come up on the end of the burn that lasted around 7 minutes of in-game time, around 2.5 minutes or so of real time. And yeah, we're now at Moho level height. I seriously think I probably should have just used an Eve gravity assist or something to get here, but who knows? We'll somehow get to Moho. We're gonna do it. I've never actually landed on Moho, so this would be a first for me. I have flown past it though. We'll have to see how fast you're going there when we get there. Yeah, everything in my ship is overheating right now. We really need to research bigger radiators, because using nuclear engines, especially 3 of them on one ship right now, not very nice. Not very good for the overall heat of this ship. Because remember, if we won't even know, like, those engines could possibly not overheat, but the batteries on the side could still overheat and break without ever breaking an engine. So you really need to monitor that kind of stuff. Alright, so here we are at the, that's the ascending node, yeah. Now we're going to try to align ourselves because, actually no, we're not going to try to align ourselves. That'll take way too much delta V. Look at that. That's not even worth it, honestly. Yeah, I don't even make an intercept. There's no point in that. I think what we're going to have to try to do is we're going to have to try to, match our node, or our intercept node, with the descending node of the other spot over there. You see that over there on the right side of the screen? I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but the green node on the right side of the screen, we need to line ourselves up with that. That would be a whole lot easier, because if we can get an intercept here, alright, that you guys wouldn't say that's an intercept, but that is an intercept. It's very far away, but it's still an intercept. We can work with that. So we're going to execute that burn. There we go, starting to burn. And it's actually taking a lot of delta V, honestly. I did not think this trip would take so much. That's basically a theme whenever I go interplanetary. So obviously we're going to have to be a little bit smarter with the planning here, because I don't think this brute burning is doing so well. However, do not underestimate this, because we still have a lander stage, a full-on lander stage still attached to the nose of this nuclear drive stage. That's very hopeful. It makes me very hopeful, at least. We have a lot of fuel locked up there, and if we actually enabled the crossfeed in the docking port, we might actually be able to use the nuclear engine a little bit longer. But honestly, I bet you if we dumped the weight of the nuclear drive stage and actually use the other engine, we might be able to actually either land on Moho if we have enough delta V, or make it back to Kerbal safely. Mostly because of the oxidizer in there and stuff. The nuclear engines don't actually use oxidizer. Here we are, planetary intercept. We are good there. Yeah, we're gonna, next time around the orbit, we are gonna actually have a encounter with Moho. And those engines are always overheating no matter what. So here at the site of the intercept, we find ourselves burning a whole lot less than I thought. It takes a little bit, but not nearly as much as the first one, or the one that we just did before. The first one, obviously, that was like 2,000. The last one was 500. This one was only like 100 or so. Maybe a little bit less, a little bit over. Let's see. We now have a perfect, not a perfect encounter. Perfect encounter would like run ourselves into it, but it is still an encounter. And let's see here. I'm just thinking now. We don't have that much Delta V, and we're gonna be going to Moho. Well, not very. We're gonna be flying by, not very close. Can we obviously we can fine tune it, but how do we fine tune it to actually help ourselves, you know, encounter Kerbal on the way back? So my solution was MechJeb, probably the noob solution, but I am a noob. So we set up an intercept for 200 kilometers in hopes that, well, not in hopes because I know this will actually work. If you get close to a planet like Moho, you can actually change your trajectory a little bit by using gravity assist and stuff. So we're just gonna kind of wing it, go in there, engines blazing, I'm sure you could say, and we're gonna somehow get back to Kerbal because we need to rescue this ship. I really want to save it, and I really want to save the science that we'll get by flying by. So just a simple, very easy maneuver here. It's all we gotta do. All we have to do to fix our orbit, and actually I am messing up that even though it is very easy to do. Okay. That's what you call PDM Vertigo's flight skills. Honestly, I don't know if the 3-engine thing was a very good idea, because those things overheat a whole lot. Here we go. Also, one of the reasons why I used MechJeb there is because I actually couldn't focus my maneuver node on the blue line, which is your current line. I ended up focusing on the purple line, and it was kind of annoying. So I chose MechJeb over anything that I could do. Let's see. The question is, how fast are we going to be going past Moho? How fast? Because remember, we have to get down to 0. How fast are we going? Let's see here. Perhaps it's 200,000. That's easy. How much Delta would it take to get into Moho's orbit right now? It would take nearly 5,000 meters per second Delta V. That's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. So, yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to get to Kerbal, how to evade Moho, because Moho eats Delta V. That would be hard to land on. Coming back would be even harder. Not as hard, but, you know. It takes the same amount to get here and to get back. How do we get... I'm trying to figure out how to get back to Kerbal right now. That's all we got to do, honestly. Get back to Kerbal, somehow slow ourselves down. I mean, we're going to do science and stuff, obviously, on the way down. There we go. There's an encounter with Kerbal. Let's run off that. But you can't actually burn back... Oh, look, there's Moho in the background. You can't actually burn to Kerbal yet, because we still need to do science. There's the mystery goo. There's the temperature logger thingy. Where's that pressure thing? There it is, vacuum. And, well, our maneuver to get back to Kerbal is only 100 meters per second, and we have a whole lot more fuel than that. We can easily do that. The question is, how fast are we going to get back? How fast will we be going, I mean, when we get back to Kerbal? Because, I mean, we can do all the science we want here, but how are we going to actually save the science? I'm sure we can have a rescue vehicle, but I'd rather slow ourselves down and possibly even land on Kerbal. Although I don't think this thing has a parachute of any sort. So, it's going to be pretty tricky. But hopefully everything works out. So let's skip to the maneuver and let's see what happens. Here we are. In the middle of space, next to Moho. Moho looks like it's moving slow. No, that's 5,000 meters per second. That is insanely fast. That is a whole lot higher than Kerbal's escape velocity, and right now we're very up close and personal to Moho right now. And let's do our small little burn here. Probably could have scathed closer to Moho, possibly. But, honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing here at Moho. I've never gone to Moho. I was thinking about going to Drace with this thing, possibly. We might do that next episode. But before we do any of that stuff, we need to focus on this trip. And look at that. Beautiful, beautiful maneuvering. We just happened to end up getting an intercept with Kerbal. And, yeah. There it is. And you can see those asteroids there. We captured one of those. Remember, we named it Barry, if you guys have not seen that episode. We do have an asteroid in our system. We still need to place, I guess. We have so much stuff to do. But honestly, science comes first, because that can unlock us a whole ton of cool stuff. See, you know that Moho burn? That could have been way easier if we had a fusion drive. Or warp drive. And we are not coming anywhere close to Kerbal. How much delta will it take to slow down? Way too much that's even possible. So, I'm done for today. So, we're going to figure out a way to slow down. We're going to have to figure out a way to actually retrieve that science. So, in the meantime, you guys are going to have to wait. Thank you for watching this episode of Kerbal Colonization. This is PVM Vertigo. Peace out.